Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Aquí Jack Wallace de Sonic Paradise junto a ustedes y hoy les traigo un video muy interesante con respecto al origen de los Hardboiled Heavies, los grandes enemigos de Sonic Mania. Esta información fue dada a conocer por Whitehead, uno de los desarrolladores y, por qué no decirlo, uno de los padres de Sonic Mania, el día 26 de febrero de este año en el evento Sonic Revolution, directamente en su servidor de Discord, y es muy interesante porque entrega información que hasta ahora era totalmente desconocida con respecto al origen de los Hardboiled Heavies. Tenemos el video completo, el cual agradecemos directamente al canal Levi Church, que lo pueden visitar directamente en su canal. Vamos a dejar el link en la descripción y sin más preámbulo vamos a ir directamente con la traducción de lo que Whitehead tuvo que decir.
Do the hard-boiled heavies have animals inside of them? And if so, do they have potential to be redeemed like E102 Gamma? Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so secret lore dump. So, when we put together the game design document for Mania, we put in a lot of extra information that doesn't necessarily, get translated into the game, because obviously a classic Sonic game, all the cutscenes are like, no voice, pantomime actions, very basic sort of cutscenes. But even when we came up with the designs for the hardboiled heavies, like technically the backstory, because it also ties into this Phantom Ruby object, which immediately was like kind of difficult to understand what it was initially when, because that came from Sonic Forces and we didn't have a lot of details about what Sonic Forces was. They just wanted to kind of tie the two games together. And, the initial thing was like, oh, would you be interested in putting this character Infinite in Sonic Mania? And they didn't show us what he ended up looking like. And so we're like, well, whatever this is going to be a big kind of mythical being like Chaos or something? Or is it like, what is it? And, then we got a document about the Phantom Ruby, which was like a gemstone that reacts to people's like sense of being or will or something. And so my interpretation of it is like, if the Chaos Emeralds are sort of like the Chaos is power enriched by the heart or something, which is like, I guess it's like whatever the kind of, it either kind of amplifies a character's sense of good or evil. So like Chaos gets powerful because he's like full of rage and sorrow, but then Sonic gets powerful because he's got all the support of his friends and he's like, yeah, man, I'm a cool dude. But then with the like Phantom Ruby, I kind of thought, well, what if it's like power enriched by the mind? And so it's like, basically, at least in the Sonic Mania universe, it's like the Phantom Ruby reacts to people's like mental personality and will. So the initial cutscene where you have the plain egg robos, they're kind of, they become the hardboiled heavies and they all have animals inside them because every badnik has animals inside them. And naturally they have their own thoughts and personalities. And so when they dig up the Phantom Ruby and get in proximity of it, they react to it. And their personalities basically fuse with the robot's AI and override it slightly, which is why they don't always follow Eggman's command. They're a bit like corrupted. And so they, what their exterior looks like reflects their kind of personal interests and desires. So that's why we ended up with like, and we actually had animal designs for all these little characters, like, but then, the little animals in Sonic are technically not meant to be as smart as Sonic. I don't know. They're like a different tier of animal. They don't kind of go on their own inventions and stuff. But like, at least in my head canon, it was like the one of them was like a ramen shop owner and he became like Heavy Shinobi. And then one of them was like a little cop. He was like the pig animal and he became a cop. So he became Heavy Gunner. And then there was one that the monkey she became Heavy Rider with Jimmy the Motorbug, and then the Penguin, she became because she sort of like the Penguin already sort of looks like a tuxedo. We picked that animal to become Heavy Magician. So yeah, that's the backstory behind Hardboiled Heavies, and it was kind of there was several different backstories for Mania, like as we were kind of coming up with the pitch, and it like probably changed twice, I think, maybe. The original pitch was like a much simpler story, and then when they wanted to incorporate the old levels in the Phantom Ruby, then we had to kind of go back to the drawing board and come up with a new cast of characters to use, and yeah, that's how we ended up with Hardboiled Heavies.
Tremenda información la que dio Christian Whitehead ahí de manera exclusiva para el evento Sonic Revolution, y que, ojo, no está referenciada en ningún lado, ni siquiera en la Sonic the Hedgehog Encyclopedia, por lo que es información totalmente nueva que aporta al todavía desconocido en su totalidad lore de Sonic Mania. Esperamos que les haya gustado esta información. No se olviden de visitar www.sonicparadise.net, nuestro sitio web con todas las noticias de Sonic the Hedgehog directamente en su idioma, y estar atentos a todas nuestras redes sociales. Pronto nos vemos con otro video. Que estén bien. Chao.